Hi, welcome to Wassell Woodworking. Today we're going to be making this sign out of cedar. So I got a 2x6 from Home Depot, which is a great source of inexpensive cedar, and what I'm doing here is cutting it to the lengths I needed and then running it through the joiner to get a one straight edge. So I'll do that with both pieces and then take it back to the table saw where I'll rip it into pieces approximately 1.5 inches square. Once that work's done, I'll take the sheet goods, in this case a piece of 3/8 inch birch plywood, and I'll cut it into a piece approximately 18 inches square. And this will be the material that the sign will actually be routed into, but before I do that I'll end up painting it blue, which you'll see later in this episode. Each piece is cut to where it has about a 20-degree slope, and this will be the basis that the roof will be made on. The roof that's going to be put on this will actually shelter the sign from direct water hitting it, which should make it last longer. Plus, I thought it was a nice look. Now we're going to take that material and start cutting it to length to make the frame. I'm going to start here working on the top. So each of these will have that 20-degree angle cut into it, and then I'll cut them both to length. And this will be the top that the roof will get attached to. Next come the sides. The sides will have the 20-degree angle on top, and then they will run down to a square cut. And then the bottom. These are just pieces that are cut square on each end to fit around the post. Now in making this, I accidentally cut into my fence, so you can see me slide it over and then recut. Not such a good move, but the carbide teeth on the blade cut through the aluminum pretty quickly. But you'll notice me stop and wonder what I just messed up. So this has happened before, as you'll see on the fence. Just when I thought I had gotten away with not having to do any more 20-degree angle cuts, I realized the top of the post has to actually have a cut on each side from the center of it. So here I am cutting those into it, and this will fit right up to the middle of the sign. And after you put all these together, it's time for a glue up. You'll notice that I've actually put tape underneath every joint that had to be glued, so that way the glue wouldn't stick to the board itself. I was using this board sort of as a pattern, so that I knew exactly what size it needed to be, and that way everything would fit together well on the end. But I just used regular glue to put this together because the weather shouldn't be directly impacting this, or at least that's the thought. So now I'm going to cut some sides, and I don't really show a lot of this, but this is 3/4 inch material, approximately 3 inches wide, and I leave about a 3/4 inch overlap on the sides, and then I'll just attach it with a few 18 gauge brads into position to let the glue dry. Of course, I did this on both sides, and then I come back in and actually add the pieces on the top. Now these I'll end up putting on with polyurethane glue, which is a waterproof glue, and end up coating it heavily between each piece as I then tack them into place. And once this dries, it's ready to take the two panels and start the routing. So let's get back to that CNC router. So as you can see, I'm showing you both of them. They're basically saying on one side, welcome to the railroad, and the other side, leaving the railroad. This is just to delineate a point on the railroad where it is going to another property owner, and we thought the sign was the best way to do this. So by painting the boards ahead of time with this bright blue, when I cut into it, it really makes the letters pop. And once you start adding the protective coating of spar urethane on, the actual cutouts where the raw wood is takes on a golden hue, which really looks nice. In fact, people thought I'd actually painted the letters with a gold paint, but I didn't. That's the nice thing about this, is it works out really well and goes pretty quickly. Both of these signs will then be attached to the framework with some stainless steel hardware so that way it won't rust and leave some marks on the sign, and that should last a long time out in the weather. At some point the sign will fall apart, but until then it actually looks pretty good. I would expect this to last at least 10 years or more. We'll see what actually happens. So here we are back out at the railroad. You can see my kids helped me put this in, and there's a sign. I actually glued on the asphalt shingles onto the top of it, which makes it waterproof, and no nails were used, just adhesive liquid nails, so hopefully that'll work out. And here it is. Looks pretty good, and we're all pretty happy with it. So we'll see you next time on Wassell Woodworking. Thanks for watching.